What's going on, everybody? You landed on living in Union County, New Jersey. Today we're going to talk about a huge topic that a lot of people relocating here don't even realize, and it's the difference between the suburbs and the city. And here in Union County we have both, so stay through the whole video to learn everything you need to know before making that big move here.
So the reason we're doing this video is because since we do get a lot of people relocating from big cities like LA, New York, or even Miami, there might be a little misconception on when people think about the suburbs or even the city when it comes to Union County.
It's extremely different. Like, the city here is Elizabeth, and that's the biggest city in Union County, and it's about 13 square miles around. And just think about it, Manhattan. It's nowhere near that. You're not gonna have the huge buildings that you might find in like Miami or LA. Nothing like that. But it is a city for us. So.
And then sometimes people think about the suburbs, and I don't know, maybe you think like you're coming to like a farm or something.
Right, they get confused.
No, it's not like that either.
They think our city is the suburbs, and the suburbs are like the rural areas. But
right.
We're gonna really like dissect this today, so you know exactly what you're getting into. You're making that big move here.
So one of the cool things about living in Union County is that it really doesn't matter if you live in a city or in one of the towns, because you're not going to be more than an hour away from the city. Right. And then the majority of the towns have transportation. It's going to have the train station and
buses as well.
Right. And then you're going to have the highways.
Yeah. And when she says city, she's talking about New York City. And here in Union County, we use kind of three major highways. It'll be the I-78, Garden State Parkway, 109, and well, you have Route 22 as well. But most importantly, the biggest difference between the city and the towns is that the traffic in the city is crazy.
Right.
Like in Elizabeth, after 4 p.m., it's almost impossible to go around.
Honestly, lately, even before 3.
Yeah,
you're gonna find traffic all the time.
It's because like there's been so many people relocating to Elizabeth. Since it's super close to New York City. You can probably get there within 30 to 40 minutes. A lot of the commuters have been loving that. And even though Union, which is almost right next door, it's not a city, it's a town. But since it's right next door to Elizabeth, a lot of people have been going there. Right. And you can already feel that Union is getting super compact. It's still a town, it's still suburban, but sometimes like it takes around 30 to 40 minutes to get around Union. Right. And it's only 9 square miles, even smaller than Elizabeth.
Right.
So that's kind of the biggest thing we're getting from the people relocating here and the locals, that the traffic and the commotion between Elizabeth, Linden, which are both cities here in Union County, to Cranford, to Westfield, you're seeing that it's like completely different worlds, and they're only like 20 minutes away from each other.
Yep. So a major difference between living in a suburban area in Union County versus one of the cities is, of course, the type of style of home. Yeah. So like, for example, like if you go to Elizabeth, you're going to find multi-families everywhere. Right. Although there's a lot of suburban areas in Elizabeth.
Like Elmora Hills.
Elmora Hills, you'll find single families. There's a lot of areas like that. But in Elizabeth specifically, you can find a lot of multi-families, and in Linden as well.
Yeah, and not only that, they're going to be very close to each other as well. You're not going to get maybe a big backyard. In Elizabeth, there's been a lot of new construction multi-families going up, and the lot size, for you to get reference, is only 25 by 100 feet. Yeah. That's all you're getting. That's worth almost $1 million in Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And you go to maybe a town like Rahway, it's all the way down south of Union County. You're going to get a lot more for your dollar. You're going to get maybe a nicer backyard, a bigger house. Yeah. You know, it changes a lot because you're going to be in Elizabeth right next to New York City. Rahway's going to be all the way down. You go to all the way up north of Union County, you go to Summit. You get huge houses, Victorians, Colonials, huge, but pushing 1.3 million, you know?
So in that area, you're going to find mostly single families. Yeah. Like if you go to Westfield, in Westfield, you're not gonna, it's very uncommon or not common at all for you to find multi-families. Yeah. So what you're gonna see there is just big luxury homes, Victorian homes, very historical homes. So it's a big difference going from Elizabeth to a town like Westfield. Even going to Berkeley Heights, it's a lot of land there. You can find a lot of land there. Watchung is very close.
Right.
So now you're getting more into, for reference, Watchung is a reservation, which you can hike. So that's kind of what you're going to find in that area. It's more woodsy. Right. So there's definitely a big difference than when you're going from like Linden, Elizabeth, super congested, a lot of different multi-families, then you start narrowing down to the single families.
And that's huge because if you don't know Union County or even New Jersey, you're not going to really know that. And for you to make sure to make that correct move when you're moving down here, you have to reach out to an agent. And luckily, We're realtors. We're the Lestrade team of relocation experts in Union County, New Jersey. I'm Luca. This is Laura. And pretty much we're dropping videos every Monday and Friday to talk about something in Union County. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that bell so you're notified every single time we upload a video, because even though we love making these videos, we love helping you out. So make sure you give us a call. Our number's going to come in any second now. We want to be the agents for you.
So one thing I do want to point out is that even though some areas are considered the suburbs, they are a little urbanized now because they're next to the big cities like Elizabeth and Linden, for example, like Union. Union's predominantly suburban, but some areas of Union are urbanized.
Right.
So I just want to point that out because not all suburbs are going to be the same. Like if you go to Westfield or Summit, maybe Berkeley Heights, that's going to be the suburbs.
Right.
So, Union is the suburbs, but not really, but those areas are the suburbs. The cost of living in Union County honestly varies whether you're living in the suburbs or city. For example, Elizabeth is considered an expensive city, or it could be affordable compared to like Westfield, which, the houses there are going to range in the millions, and then you go to Summit, which is even more expensive. Or you can go to Cranford, which is
a little more affordable, but it's still in the 800,000s.
Right, and those aren't cities; those are suburban areas. Or you can go to like Roselle Park, which is more affordable than Elizabeth, and that's the suburbs. So
I promise you won't find any properties there.
So it really depends. Linden's also a city, so it really depends on where you're living in Union County.
And to kind of add a little bit more, it's even going to depend on what neighborhood you live in within the city or town. Elizabeth, you can get, for example, in Laura Hills, you can find properties there for $1 million.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing now.
Or you can go to the Port of Elizabeth, get a property for $300,000. It's going to be very huge, especially in which area of Union County you're going to be living in. All right, so this is kind of, I think, the most important topic in the video. It's going to be the schools. And you have to understand that throughout Union County, it has high-ranked schools. Many of the towns in Union County are A pluses, but for example, the city of Elizabeth, average school is I think a B minus, and Linden is even worse than that. So you gotta, it's true, because you have to understand that a city to a suburb, like a town like Cranford, Westfield, Summit, ranked #1 school district in Union County, you're not gonna compare it to a city. The only difference between Elizabeth and all the other towns is that Elizabeth has a lot of school potentials, has multiple high schools, multiple middle school, multiple elementary schools. Unlike Summit, only has one high school, two middle schools, and like 4 or 5 elementary schools. But they're all A pluses. So if you're thinking about schools and schools like the #1 thing for you, you need to go to the suburbs, because just where you're gonna find the best school districts and the best town overall.
And last but not least, a very big difference between the suburbs and the cities, of course, is the things to do and the nightlife.
Right. And for example, I don't want to say only, but the biggest nightlife we have here in Union County is going to be in Elizabeth. You're going to find Bark, you're going to find Chupito, you're going to find lobbies, all lounges and clubs, which you're not going to really find in other towns and cities in Union County. That's going to be kind of the mecca for everything, for everybody going. And if you can't find it in Elizabeth, you're probably gonna have to go to New York City, because the nightlife here is not that great. Or you might want to go to another county like Hudson County. You're gonna find Hoboken, Jersey City, West New York, Edgewater. That's where the nightlife is gonna be.
Linden also has, things to do. They have
Central Park.
They have Mr. East, which is also a club, but it's not gonna be as big as Elizabeth. Now the suburbs, you're not going to find that. You're, of course, going to find different bars depending on the suburbs. On the town, it's going to depend if you're even going to have bars. Okay, so for example, like if you go to like Cranford, you're only going to find like maybe like 3 bars that
and they're not really bars. It's like it's like small inns. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and for example, like it's mostly like Westfield, Cranford, Summit, you're gonna find upscale restaurants. So, if you're into that, you're gonna have a limited nightlife, but still things to do. But if you go to a suburban area like Roselle Park, not gonna find much there.
You're probably not gonna find anything. So it's kind of, you're either gonna have the small town feel of a town, or you're gonna just get more urbanized like the city. We do have in-betweens. There's a lot more towns in Union County that we can just talk about for hours, just different towns. But if you are looking to make that big move here, you just kind of want to learn more of what might fit for you. Again, we are licensed real estate agents in New Jersey. Our number is going to be coming up any second now. I'm Luca, this is Laura, and we want to be their agents for you.